Police officials in Los Angeles are frantically searching for a former police officer by the name of Christopher Dorner, and he has shot and killed 3 different individuals. He did shoot at more police officials, but this all started over the weekend where he shot and killed a couple. They were in their car at a condominium, and he then proceeded to shoot at 4 different police officers this morning on Thursday, and he succeeded in killing one of them and injuring another. Now, the reason why this is all happening is because Dorner was fired from the police department back in 2008. The reason why he was fired was because he allegedly made false statements, and those false statements had to do with a police officer by the name of Teresa Evans, who he accused of kicking a schizophrenic suspect in the chest and in the face. Now, after he brought that up to other police officials, and after the suspect himself said that he was kicked in the chest and in the face, the department decided that they were going to let him go anyway, and he was very, very upset about that.
So, as far as the initial problem there, it seems like he's got a pretty good case. It's not just his word, it's not just the victim, if you believe him, the victim's word, but also the schizophrenic guy's, not schizophrenic. Is it? Okay. Anyway, the disabled guy's dad.
He was schizophrenic,
okay,
yes.
Saw that his face had been kicked in, etc. So it seems like he had a decent case. There's some chance the LAPD might have wanted to circle the wagons, but we don't know. You'd have to look into that. Now, does that matter? Sure it matters because it's the thing that starts this whole thing going. But it doesn't excuse anything that this guy has done. I mean, you want to talk about irrational. The guy talks about in his manifesto about how he's against assault weapons. Well, you got a curious way of showing it by shooting at 4 different people, killing 3 different people. To me, the thing that really puts it over the top is not only is he going after the cops like Quan, who's actually his defender. Now, maybe he thinks he threw me under a bus, and instead of defending me, he railroaded me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you. He didn't kill Quan. He killed his 27-year-old daughter.
Yes, so that's what makes people, well, of course, him handling the situation the way he did makes people go against him. But the people that he murdered did absolutely nothing wrong to him. I mean, he murdered the daughter of the man who was defending him when he was trying to, basically expose what Teresa Evans had done.
Right, and Keith Lawrence was the fiancé for Monica Quan. He was 27 years old. He's also dead. Now, this is a massive manhunt, so that's got 2 parts to this. Number 1, this guy was in San Diego, left his badge, etc. behind there. He had just gotten out of the Navy, so he's well-trained as a cop in the Navy, etc. Then he goes up to the Los Angeles area, does these shootings, and he pulls up to cops and shoots them with a rifle when they had no idea who he was, etc. at that time, right? So now, then he goes up to Big Bear and burns his truck. So they find his burned truck up in Big Bear, which is several hours away from Los Angeles. So now they have no idea where he is. He could be in the mountains, he could be in the woods, he could be in Mexico, he could be anywhere. So that leads to point number 2 about the manhunt. LAPD is in a panic. Literally, this morning, shooting at several different cars that resembled Dorner's car.
Just to show you how absurd it is, they shot at 2 women, 2 elderly Asian women in a car that resembled his car, and they were just delivering newspapers. So it was kind of a shoot now, ask questions later type situation.
No, that's insanity. Now, look, I know cops are worried because in the manifesto he says not only am I going after the cops, and he's already shot at cops randomly and they caught him off guard, etc., but he's also going after their family. So I get why they're enormously concerned. And I get that realistically, when you go after cops and their families, they're going to come after you 1,000,000 times more than if you went after a random family. Keep it real. And I get why. It's them. It's their family. They're incredibly concerned, right? But you can't shoot at random trucks. That's insanity. I mean, we got a killer on the loose, so let's just start shooting at random Asian women. No. You got to bring that all the way back down. You got to be incredibly careful, and I understand your concern 100%, but you cannot be shooting at random trucks that kind of look like his.
Now, what this does, I'm sorry, as far as when he's terrorizing people in the police department, again, like Anna was saying, the way this guy took on his first grievances make you kind of go against him. Now he's winning again because now the LAPD is shooting innocent citizens. They're like, well, well, dude, look at these guys. They're shooting us now. They're bringing them right back against them again.
The cops that are shooting at innocent people that are just happen to be driving cars that resemble his are proving his point that he makes in the manifesto. You know, that they use excessive force, and we will get to the manifesto later, but he does essentially do a whistleblowing of what's happening within the LAPD. And what they're doing with shooting at innocent people is just proving that.
Now, so look, last thing on that is that as I'm conflicted on that, because I appreciate whistleblowers. This is the worst possible way to do whistleblowing in the history of mankind, morally speaking, legally speaking, etc. Now, the third problem is that it's working, that he's bringing attention to this thing, and since he's already killed all these innocent people, I feel bad bringing attention to whatever his cause is. I don't want to do that, right? And because you don't want to reward killers. You know, I don't want to even mention the names of the latest people who've been doing the massacres, etc., the killers, right?
I get it.
So
but
it is a weird case.
It is a weird case, but at the same time, Cenk, of course, punish the person who has gone out and killed these innocent individuals. But if there is a message here, I don't think it's wrong to pay attention to that message and do an investigation into what's happening with the LAPD. Because as you know, we have done numerous stories about various police departments that are either corrupt, that use excessive force, that cover up for their police officers. So if that's really happening in the LAPD, and unfortunately this is the way that you draw attention to it, at least we can focus on that a little bit and make sure that what he's saying isn't really happening.
Look, LAPD has an incredibly long history of corruption. Just keep it real. Doesn't mean that today's department is corrupt. They do have that history. He does make some charges that are interesting. Does it happen often that the little guy is crushed when he's trying to do the right thing? Have we set a precedent in this country that we go after whistleblowers viciously and maliciously quite often? Yes. So you want to do the investigation later? I get it, right? But right now, I don't want to reward this guy in any way, shape, and form because he's gone about this in the worst possible way. I mean, just think about that 28-year-old woman and 27-year-old poor kid dead in that car for no damn reason.